have a monkey in your pants?
Right then folks, welcome back to another episode of the SNES Quest. And if you don't know what the SNES Quest is, please check out the previous SNES Quest episodes. You'll find them on my channel. Of course, I can't explain it every single time I do one of these. And the frequency of these, as and when I get the games, to be honest with you. I've mentioned in the past that I'll try and do 5 per episode if you like, but if it gets to the point where I maybe just picking up a single expensive game, I might just do a special episode on that game I've decided, and maybe even do a gameplay attached onto it sort of side of things. But we'll see how we go. And I need a drink. I always need a drink, and we're drinking Pepsi Max still, people. I shouldn't have done that. I've got a really sore shoulder. I don't know what I've done. Better. I don't know what it is. It hurts. We'll get on with this SNES Quest. I've got some 5 games for you. I'm just looking at what order I've got them written down here, so please excuse my face as I look over at this second screen. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. So the first game that I picked up is a pretty decent platform game actually, but it's Tiny Toons Buster Busts Loose. Like I say, it's a pretty decent platformer game. I don't know if it's a bit it's a platformer game, but there's different sort of elements to it. The only reason I was ever aware of this game was because my friend's sister had it for her Super Nintendo, so we played it on her machine back in the day. But you'd maybe think it was a bit crap because it's called Tiny Toon Adventure Buster Bust Loose. It doesn't sound like maybe the world's greatest game, but it is a fun, decent. It is a platformer game, but it's got some different elements in it. I remember there being an American football section to it, for example. But it's certainly a game that you can pick up quite cheap. I think this cost me maybe about £6 is what it is. It was released in 1993 by Konami. Konami done a lot of decent games back in the day, but it's certainly a worthwhile game checking out if you've never heard of it. Like I said, it can be picked up pretty cheap whether it's PAL or on the NTSC cartridges, but it's a decent game. Now the second game that I've got is an absolute classic across all of Nintendo's consoles, apart from the Game Boy. That was a bit before its time, and the Nintendo. Sorry, from the Super Nintendo onwards, it's an absolute classic game regardless of what machine it was released on. It's a must-have game, and it is Super Mario Kart. Like I say, it's a classic game. I was just looking at this, it's filthy. I need to clean this in there. Dirty, apart from that, it's in decent condition. Super Mario Kart for the SNES, amazing game, amazing multiplayer game. I remember me and my two mates, who it was their sister who had the SNES, would take the SNES into their living room and play Mario Kart, I should say, for hours and hours and hours on end, or go into her bedroom if she wasn't in or whatever, and we'd go and both play Mario Kart. Versus either it was the Grand Prix or the what do you call it, the battle matches. Absolutely classic, amazing game, and it basically set it off for the rest of the series. But iconic, classic racer. There's been a few things that have tried to copy it. For example, Street Racer. I always say that's a poor man's Mario Kart, but Mario Kart is the dog's danglies, and that cost me, how much that cost me? £10. So it's not too bad. This is, I think that did come from America. You might be able to pick up a little bit cheaper in this country, but £10, I'm quite happy paying that for it. Absolutely amazing game. And if you've got a Super Nintendo, you don't have Mario Kart, what the fuck? You know nothing about Super Nintendo games. Come on. Now the next game that I've got, it's a bit of a bizarre one because it's got a different name from the normal name that I would associate with this game, if that makes sense. And it is Soldiers of Fortune. Like I was saying, it's got a bit of a different name. Soldiers of Fortune. You might not have been able to tell by the picture on it, but it's otherwise known as the Chaos Engine. Now you might know what the hell it is. Obviously they changed the name for whatever reason for the American market. Certainly in this country it's called Chaos Engine. I can't speak. Released by Bitmap Brothers. I remember it from the Amiga primarily, and it was obviously ported onto different various systems, but it's a great top-down sort of shooter, game, two-player and whatnot. But it's a great iconic classic Bitmap Brothers game. I've not played it on the SNES yet, so I don't know how it plays. Like I say, I know it was released on the Mega Drive and whatnot as well. On the Amiga, it's a brilliant game, and I hope it lives up to it, is all I could say. But I'm really glad to have this. Cost me £5.60, posted, cheap as chips, released by Bitmap Brothers, like I say, in 1993. It's a great fun game. If you can pick it up cheap, it's well worth it. It's a good blast, good laugh for a two-player as well. It's a great game. Now the next game is another absolute iconic classic Super Nintendo game. I'll show you what it is first. It's Donkey Kong Country. This game was released in 1994 by Rare. It was at the point in the time, I think, where maybe we thought, oh, nothing else could be happening with the 16-bit side of things. It's been pushed as far as it could go. And then this game, let's say, released by Rare, developed by Rare, came out in 1994. And the graphics, it was like, if I remember back, it was for a 16-bit game, and we'd seen nothing sort of like it, certainly from our point of view. It was absolutely amazing. Excuse me, and most people out there have probably played Donkey Kong Country because it's such a classic game. The soundtrack to it is one of my all-time favourite game. Soundtracks, every single song in that soundtrack for the game is amazing. It really, really is. It's a good side-scrolling platformer game. There's obviously the second and the third game for the Super Nintendo as well, but I've not played them, I should say. But this is one of my all-time favourite platform games, and it's one of my all-time favourite video game soundtracks as well. Donkey Kong Country by Rare. You can't go wrong with this game. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely fucking amazeballs game. Now the final game for this episode is a game that I was aware of mainly because of the version that was released on the NES, is what it was, and it is Contra 3: The Alien Wars. By Konami. Again, they've done such great things, especially on the Super Nintendo in 1992. Cost me a grand total of £5, which is absolutely amazing. I've seen it go for £20 and whatnot on eBay, so it was a great find. Still play it if it's anything like the other sort of is it Probotector or whatever games or Contra games. I don't know the lineage or the backstory of the Contra games as such, but I know they're renowned to be pretty hard games, especially on the NES, I think. But for anybody that hasn't played it, it's basically a side-scrolling game where you're like a sort of soldier dude. You go along, you can play two-player, you get various different weapon power-ups and whatnot. But it's a great blast, good game. Like I say, I've not played it on this, but really looking forward to it. But for £5 posted, hello, absolute bargain considering what I've seen it go for, and it's in really good condition as well. Right guys, so that is this episode games, if you like. The total is up there, and the price that's been paid so far, obviously the price is a bit inflated because there's some really expensive games bought at the very start. Your Earthbound, your Chrono Trigger, what else? Castlevania, Dracula X as well is another one. So I think it's up to 20 games now. Obviously, I can't see the counter up there until I fucking edit it in there. So I think it's up to 20 games now. But that's about it, guys. More will be coming very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any comments, whatnot, very much appreciated. I do reply to 99.9% of them. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Do you have a monkey in your pants?